Hello, volunteers. This is Grant. So, as you guys probably know, we're about 1 month in, and things have overall gone pretty smoothly, actually. Uh, there's a little bit of a hiccup here and there, but we're kind of figuring things out, so thanks for bearing with us. I wanted to go over a new idea that we had and something that maybe will help keep things a little bit more organized so you guys know where you should be. So what I've done here is I've labeled the different areas where you guys, the volunteers, will be while you're watching and helping throughout the day. And these are also ranked in order of importance. Uh, Forgive me for my rough map sketch here. So this is the central building. This is the touch tank. This is the stingray tank, the big tanks, the deck, the shark tank, the baby shark tank, the reptile area, and the tortoise enclosure. So first we have the station that most of you have been helping watch most of the time, which is the station under the umbrella, which is by the touch tank mainly, but also for the stingray tank, and this is where you give out food for the turtles and the alligators. Now, this is the most important station because it's the main area where people get food to feed the animals, and it's also where you will be watching the touch tank and the stingray tank to make sure people are not harming the animals. Um, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over each station and kind of what you want to do at the station, and then I'll kind of go over broadly how you want to position yourself, because some days we have more volunteers and some other days, like on weekends for example, we have a lot of people. And so I'm going to go over how we're going to try to assign you guys. And unfortunately it's still going to be a little disorganized here because me, um, Paige, and my dad are just so busy during the day that it can be a little hard to make sure everything's covered, but hopefully this will help. This video will help with that. So at the first station, this is the number one priority. If you're a volunteer and you notice nobody's here watching this station, go watch that station. And most of you guys are familiar with what to do here. So we have the food lined up. You take in tickets, give out the food. Make sure that when people get the food, that you demonstrate how to feed them, or explain it well enough that they can do it. So show them how to feed the stingrays, show them how to feed the turtles, and make sure, especially for the turtles, that you tell them which turtles to feed, because sometimes people will try to feed the turtles in the touch tank, which of course they're not supposed to feed them there. They feed these turtles over here. So make sure to point them in this direction. Same thing for the gators. There's not a lot of gators that they can mistakenly feed, but you want to point them in this direction to feed the gators. If it's slow, you can even walk them over there. But if you're really busy, you'll want to just point them in that direction. But if it's slow enough, walk them over there, show them, help them out, talk to them a little bit. It's really helpful. Your other responsibility here is to watch this tank, the touch tank and the stingray tank, make sure people are being gentle. Um, if you see anybody being too overly aggressive, of course, and by overly aggressive I mean grabbing the animals or pushing them, anything that could potentially harm the animals, you want to definitely let them know right away that they want to be more gentle. And if they continue, um, then remind them again. And if they're still doing it, then you want to come get me or whoever's at the front to come address it as soon as possible. Normally, it's not that isn't an issue, but it does happen, unfortunately. So this is the number one priority station that you guys are going to be spending a lot of time at. The second highest priority station is the deck area, number two here, where this is usually where my uncle is, Jeff. He kind of stations over here. If he's not there, then that's somewhere that we're going to need someone to watch pretty much all day. But normally he's there and he can handle it by himself. However, it is useful for him to have a helper. Um, so on a day like Sunday or Saturday, or even during a weekday, if we have a lot of people, let's say there's already 1 or 2 people watching this and they have it under control, then you'll want to go over to this station and help my Uncle Jeff or whoever's up there get bait ready and things like that. So this is the second station. Up here, same thing. You take tickets, you sell the food, and your other job is to make sure people aren't throwing things in the tank that isn't food. So you want to always keep an eye on these tanks while you're up here, for sure. Um, Another thing I should mention is that the ticket buckets that you guys use, make sure that those are always protected or in your sight, so someone doesn't try to steal tickets out of the ticket bucket or something like that, which, believe it or not, someone did try to do that the other day. So make sure that let's say, for example, you're at this station and no one's up here and you're leaving the station. You got to hide the ticket bucket away somewhere, like in the bin that's up here, or just bring it with you or something like that. But you just don't want to leave it unattended, just sitting out on the table or something like that. And if you have a question about that, of course, let us know. And then another important station is the one by the baby shark tank. Now this one is a tricky one because it is very important. Even though it's third rank, it's almost as important as a tarpon, but not quite. And it does tend to get neglected, or has been so far. So we want to make sure someone's down here pretty much all the time, if possible. So if someone's watching this #1 station, if someone's already watching #2 station, then we want someone to be watching the #3 station. And this is where sometimes the bucket gets left out that people try to maybe take tickets out of. So you want to make sure that if you're the only one down here and you're leaving this area, you have to take the ticket bucket with you. So that's very important. But if you're the only one down here, you really want to stay here until someone comes and relieves you. So this area over here, we do sell food for the sharks. The sharks that we have in here are pretty small, so they do get full quite quickly, as you guys are probably aware by now. So what you want to do is you can sell food to feed the sharks. However, once the sharks stop eating or get full, then you do want to explain to people that the sharks have unfortunately gotten full and that they can use their tickets either up on the deck here or to feed the other animals at this station over here. Even when the sharks are full, though, it's still important that we have someone down here if possible, because then you can share your information about the customers and talk about the sharks and tell people about them and all that good stuff. There are a couple signs you can read about nurse sharks, so you can learn about them and share that information with people. And of course, never be shy. The more information you share, the more you talk with customers, the better they're going to feel. And that's really something that they don't get to experience at other attractions a lot, is talking to someone, believe it or not. So that can really make someone's day and make their visit feel really special, which is, of course, our goal. And that's a huge way you can help us. So definitely, you're at this station, you want to stay here. And then, of course, this really only applies to weekends right now, because we have a lot of volunteers. But if someone's watching this station, #1, if someone's watching this station, #2, and if someone's already watching this station, #3, 1 or 2 people at each station, then you can come to this station. There's no feeding, but you can share information about the animals, and you can keep an eye on the tortoises and make sure people don't throw anything in the tortoise tank or try to feed them. The tortoises on their own are very interesting, but sometimes they need someone to be there and kind of talk to people about them. So your job is to be here and take questions and talk to people about the tortoises. And there's a sign there that has some information. And I know it seemed kind of silly just to read a sign and relay it to people when they could read the sign themselves. But let me tell you something. A lot of people don't read signs, and if you talk to them and just tell them the information that's on the sign, then it just comes across much more personably, and they really appreciate that. Um, Something to keep in mind at any job or anything like that. So that's kind of an overview of each station. Now, how I want this to work is so you get here, uh, let's say in the morning, or some of you come in the middle of the day. Uh, what you want to do is, first thing is, I might be busy up here, or something. Me and Paige and my dad might also be busy. So you get here and you don't really know where to go, or what to do. First thing, go to station one and see who's there. Is there someone there already? If there's already two people there, we want to have a maximum of two people at each station, unless specified otherwise, because sometimes we'll, Paige or myself will have you guys prepare food or something like that. So unless you're doing a task, you really only need two people here at this station. So what you do, you come in, check this station. If there's already two people here, or two people in the vicinity at the, watching this area, then you want to go and walk upstairs, check station two. If Jeff's already up there, then, or if Jeff and the helper's already up there, then they'll probably got it covered. You can ask them if they need any help, but they'll probably be fine. Then you want to walk all the way around here, check the shark station. Is someone down there? There needs to be at least one person or two people down here. This station really only needs one person, but you can have two people down here. And if that's already covered, then you want to walk all the way over here and hang out by the tortoises. And I say hang out, you're really watching over the tortoises and talking to customers and helping them. Sometimes what we'll do when you come in, we'll say, hey, go to station 3, go to station 1, or go to station 2, or go to station 4, or something like that. Or we may not call them station 1, 2, 3, and 4, but we'll say go to the touch tank area, go to the shark tank, go up on the deck, go up on the tortoise, go watch the tortoises. So it's very important that we're not, nobody's congregating around one particular station like this station where the umbrella is. So if you are assigned a station, so if we tell you to watch the shark tank, then make sure you go to the shark tank and you stay there. Now you might have to stay there a long time, and honestly, there's a small chance we might forget you're over there. But that doesn't mean that your job is any less important. If you're over there for 1, 2, 3 hours, then and you're helping customers the whole time, you're doing a great job, and keep it up. That's exactly what we want. So even though you're over here and you feel like you're kind of alone, yeah, don't worry. You're doing a great job. Stick to that station, watch those animals, share information, and keep it up. One thing I'm going to try to work on is having walkie-talkies at each station. So if you run out of food or need help, or need, advice, then you can walkie us. I might not have enough walkie-talkies available for that right away, but it's something I'm going to be working on getting. Let me see if there's anything else I wanted to cover. I believe that's it. I'm going to go ahead and share this with you all. And make sure if you have a question about anything I just talked about, that you send me a text as soon as possible, so that way I can address that. And if there's a common question, I can share it with all the volunteers. If you have any ideas about maybe how we can do this better, that's another thing you can talk to us about. So appreciate you guys. Thank you all for volunteering and helping us out, of course. And we'll see you in the coming weeks. Bye-bye.